What the mainstream media was afraid to tell you about the news this week. While the mainstream media obsessed over Donald Trump's tax returns from 30 years ago, here are the things that happened that really matter. 0 congressional Democrats have viewed the mostly unredacted version of the Mueller Report. Attorney General Barr has made this mostly unredacted version available to Democratic leadership upon request. 99.9% of Volume 2, the obstruction part, is available to read in this version. It only contains 7 redactions. But still, the 6 Democrats who have access to it, none have viewed it. Instead, they hold Attorney General Barr in contempt of Congress for not violating the law and revealing the legally mandated redacted grand jury information. But did the mainstream media report this to you? Did the mainstream media call out the left for accusing Attorney General Barr of a cover-up of the report when the Democrats haven't even read the mostly unredacted version of the report for themselves? Nope, the mainstream media didn't say a word. In California, the State Department of Education has begun to implement new standards for sex education in public schools. Under this new framework, kindergartners are now being taught about transgenderism. Middle schoolers are being taught how to masturbate, and teenagers are being taught about anal sex and bondage. Parents can't opt out of this graphic and obscene sexual material either. The radical leftists in the California Department of Education claim that teaching kindergartners about transgenderism is a civil rights issue. Meanwhile, there's no scientific information being taught about transgenderism, no information in this framework about the suicide rate for transgender people after surgery, or the fact that it stays the same. No information on the rate of minors who outgrow gender dysphoria if they aren't encouraged to transition. That rate would be 80 to 90% who outgrow. No information about counseling for transgender students to address very common comorbid mental disorders. But did the mainstream media report on this? Nope, the mainstream media is complicit with the left in sexualizing our children in order to push the radical leftist gender identity agenda. Democratic Congresswoman Ilhan Omar has ties to the Muslim American Society, the same organization who published the video of Muslim children chanting about cutting off the heads of infidels to please Allah. Omar had the president of the Muslim American Society, Minnesota chapter, stand next to her when she was sworn into the Minnesota House of Representatives in 2017. She spoke at the Muslim American Society Muslim Day also in 2017, and she has not disavowed them in the wake of this video of children chanting about killing non-Muslims. But did the mainstream media report on this? Nope. The mainstream media ignores the radical anti-Semitism of the Democratic Party. The New York Times published a piece about Donald Trump losing billions of dollars in his businesses in the late 1980s and early 1990s. The Times presented this story as if it were a bombshell that proved that Trump was a fraud or something. But actually, the piece was not a bombshell. It wasn't a smoking gun either. It wasn't even original reporting. Trump himself told this story on the first episode of The Apprentice, how he lost a ton of money, billions of dollars, and then he earned it back and more and built his brand after failure. And did the mainstream media call out their own for lame, unoriginal, clickbait reporting? No, they did not. The mainstream media did not say a single word. The Planned Parenthood clinic in Philadelphia, where Pennsylvania Democratic State Representative Brian Sims bullied women and threatened to dox 3 teenage girls because they are pro-life, failed 13 of the past 23 health inspections, including failure to report child sex abuse, the statutory rape of an 11-year-old girl, improperly stored aborted baby body parts, unsterile instruments, blood stains on their carpet and chairs, failure to do physicals on patients before anesthesia, no background checks on their employees, and failure to report a serious injury to a patient, among others. But did the mainstream media report on these dangerous conditions that could and did and do hurt women? Nope, the mainstream media was silent. The mainstream media doesn't care to report any of that to you. So we will. And that's my final point.